Hey y'all, it's Coach Amy and I'm here today with Maddie Phillips. She is one of my girls' friends and you are going to hear her amazing Trim Healthy Mama, even though she's not a mama, story. And so I want you to be encouraged by that one little thing. She's not a mama, but she's done the thing. I remember the first time I laid eyes on this baby. They were coming to our church for the first time. Two little girls walking in their sweet little dresses, and her daddy was carrying the baby in the carrier, and they've just been a very special family to the Gaskin family for years and years. So when I decided I wanted to do an interview with somebody that was doing THM, I thought of her because I know her story is really going to speak to many people, ladies, daughters, all the things. So we're going to get started. Okay, sis, so how old are you now?
I'm 17.
She's 17. How old were you when you started THM?
I was 13 years old.
Wow, so 4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
That's about how long I've been doing THM, like 4.5 years.
Awesome.
So you started right after me.
I started in October when I was 13, so I was like almost 14.
Gotcha.
But we were like right there.
Yeah, good. Okay, so where were you before THM?
Before THM, like, you mean weight-wise?
Yeah,
like
and how your body felt, where your brain was, your lifestyle, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, we had been homeschooling for a little while, and I kind of felt isolated. We didn't do much, so I ate a lot, and I bake a lot. So when you bake, you eat all
That's
the
right.
stuff you
Comfort.
bake. Exactly, and plus you gotta taste test everything. You just have to do it.
That's right.
And so I would just eat a lot and just not move around. I would just sit and do schoolwork, or I'd sit and play on my phone and do this. And we were in the mountains, and I was sitting there. It was the last day of our trip. We were eating, and I was staring at my food. And I was like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I don't really like anything about myself, and that was really a low point for me. And so
it made me cry.
That's good. It's good. And I told my mom this, and she goes, well, I was going to start doing THM, but I don't know enough about it yet.
Right.
And so I did low carb for about a couple weeks.
Okay.
And then my mom started learning more about THM.
Yes.
And that's when I started to do THM and become who I am.
And I want to say, she has an amazing mother. Precious.
She's amazing. I love her so much.
I love her too. Probably not as much as you do because, she's not my mama. But amazing, amazing. And she's raising some amazing girls. Okay, so when you started, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. So you did the low carb thing. When you started adding in carbs, kind of explain to us what your typical meals look like.
Well, I started off eating like the sprouted grain bread, and I ate a lot of fruit because that's something I was really missing when I did low carb and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Because I love fresh fruit and I love fresh vegetables. And that's what it started out for me. I didn't really do beans and things and stuff because we didn't know much about it.
Right, carby beans, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. So it was a lot of fresh fruit and the sprouted bread.
Very good, very good. Did you have those are more E's, carbs, and did you do crossovers at all, or did y'all keep it separated with S and E?
I didn't do any crossovers at first. I do them every so often nowadays, just because sometimes I want to mix it up. But when I first started, I didn't do it.
I think that was wise because I know what you looked like before, and I think that was a really good move. So, Coach approved. We'll also like to say that I did not coach her. I've never coached her. I've not ever answered a question. They dug in and they learned it on their own, which is great. Not anything bad to say if you're coached or not coached. It just depends on what the different people need for sure. That's great. Okay, so when you started losing, how was it? Rapid loss? Did it take a year? Like, what did that look like?
At first, it was a lot of water weight. So
inflammation, I bet.
Yes, ma'am. So I dropped like 5 pounds kind of like right off the bat, which felt really great. But it felt kind of frustrating as it went on because it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Amen. So give me chills.
So in a year, I saw a lot of significant weight loss. So I think maybe 25 pounds as I started going. And a year and a half went on, I got really close to my goal weight and where I was going with myself. So it just took a span of a time.
That's right. It does take time. That's really important to understand and remember. No matter where you are in your THM journey, it's gonna take time. It didn't take 2 weeks for you to get to where you were or where you are. So it's gonna take time to get where you want to be, and you have to be really patient with it. Did you have anybody ask you about it at this time? Though I will tell y'all, She had to have grown 2 feet, I swear. She told me just a minute ago, she says, I think I grew a little bit, like, the last few days. It was so funny. So, were there any people that were questioning what you were doing? Were you able to share that, and how'd that go?
I had a bunch of adults approach me about it. Like, it'd been a year, and I went to a Ford conference, and with a bunch of the adults, and they just come over and ask me, like, what have you been doing? I've noticed you've lost a lot of weight. And it was really hard for me to kind of explain it to them.
Right, I know.
Because after, like, 5 minutes, a lot of people would just zone out.
Yep.
Because they didn't want to hear it.
That's right. Because it is hard, but at the same time, it's not.
Yes, I get that.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else?
It kind of felt weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes the adults would come over and ask me, like, what I've been doing, because I was like, I don't feel confident enough or professional enough to
Understand.
talk about it.
Understand. So, did you do any exercise during that time?
I didn't. I was not very athletic. I played softball some before THM,
Mm-hmm.
but past year or so, I've tried to, like, take longer walks and just work in little bits of exercise throughout my day.
Very good. I was not an athlete either. In high school, I was in all the clubs, you know,
I feel that.
yearbook, beta, all that stuff. And then in the last few years, as y'all know, I'm a CrossFit person. Love the CrossFit. You'd probably like CrossFit too.
Probably would.
So you could come one day for free with me one day. You
Aw.
check it out. But she danced a little bit when you were even younger. Not a lot, but a little bit. And you did play a little ball. That's great. So I think that's a great testament. THM works. You don't have to sweat it off. You don't have to do anything wild and crazy. You ate the foods God gave us. You had meats, eggs,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
fruit, vegetable, grains. Great. So you talked about baking earlier.
Oh, yes.
So do you do any THM baking?
I love to do THM baking. I love it so much.
That's so awesome. So what's some of your favorite meals, baking or otherwise? You can go through all of them.
I love the cookies. I forget which book they're in, but I love to make those. I make them when my sister's home because they're her favorite thing.
Aww.
And so I'll bake
What's
them.
in them? So maybe I can figure out what it is.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. There's 6 egg yolks in it.
Okay.
And then you have to put the molasses in,
Uh-huh.
the gentle
Believe it or
sweets.
not,
Yes,
chocolate chip
those are
cookies,
the
Trim Healthy
ones.
Cookbook. There
Those
you
are
go.
the ones. And we recently made the date night cookie.
Uh-huh.
That one was amazing.
I met Rashida last weekend.
You did?
I know. I did, and she is precious. Y'all are a lot alike. I will tell you that.
Thank you.
She's an amazing person. Good. Okay, date night cookie. Yes.
And we love the curry. We put it in the crock pot. That's one of our favorite meals.
I have never made that.
Oh, it's so
You shall
good.
inspire me. I shall make it.
It's so
And
good.
it's S.
Yes, ma'am.
Heavy whipping cream.
Coconut milk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm dairy free. That's amazing.
Ah.
Well, I strive to be.
Oh, I do too.
Yes. Do you really?
Yes, ma'am. I love cheese and everything, but I find it really inflames my skin, so I can't eat it too
I
much.
hear you. I hear you. I 100% hear you on that. Okay. So curry, cookies. Anything else that you love?
There's so many things we love. We love the Chinese chicken salad.
Mhm.
We love that for the summer because it's just really light and fresh.
Right.
And my favorite comfort food is just egg roll in a bowl. I
Yeah.
love that one.
That one's so easy too.
It is. It takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, very good. So the Phillips family travel a lot of places. They do a lot of fun things. They're always on the go. I love seeing her dad's post, eating out with my girls, and they do. So how, eating out, how do you maneuver that?
So I'll look at the menu, and I kind of just, like, if there's the set meals, like this side and this side,
Right.
I find something that has a base. It's easier to eat low carb out in public
That's
than
right.
it is to eat E. So
That's
if I know I'm eating out, I'll try to eat my E when I'm at home, or like we're starting out at a cabin or a hotel room or something.
So proud.
And so I'll just kind of build off that. So if I get something like a pork chop, say, on the menu, a grilled pork chop, and it comes with mashed potatoes and green beans, I'll ask them, can we sub that for extra green beans or a side salad or something?
Perfect.
And I just kind of pick and choose. It's not as hard anymore. No one really blinks an eye, because I remember when I first started and I'd ask for a crustless pizza, like mellow mushroom or something, and they'd stare at me and go, what
now?
What? Are you sure? And so, but no one really does it anymore, so it's really built my confidence where I don't feel like a weirdo when I ask.
That's right. Well, you are not a weirdo, because I do the same thing, and I don't even care if I don't even care anymore. That's the way I eat. I'm sorry. And they're like, do you have celiacs? And sometimes I just say yes.
So I say that
I mean, not
sometimes.
trying to lie, but it just makes them go on.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So, we got traveling down. I was going to ask you something else, and I can't remember what it was now. Darn. Oh, well. So, we talked, you don't do many crossovers. I don't either. I'm maintenance as well, and you're still growing, 17. You got lots of things to go. But I really think it's so great that you were able to catch those negative feelings back when you were 13. Trust your mom enough to talk to her.
Oh,
That's
yes.
huge. And then y'all made it happen. So speaking of your mom, let's go back to those first few days. Were you making these foods on your own? Did y'all do things together? How did that look?
Well, we first started out, and now we made meals together. We would meal plan, like we'd sit down on Saturdays, plan what we're gonna do for the week, and go buy at a grocery store and make it. And that's how we started. Sometimes my mom does, where she's like, she travels a lot more with my dad, like she'll go for weekends with him, and sometimes she just wants to eat the dessert and wants to eat that, and that's totally fine. It's just what you feel in that moment.
That's right.
But for me, so I would stay home and I'd make something that's on plan or from a cookbook. So we kind of alternate sometimes. Like tonight, I'm gonna make dinner for us, and so we do it together, and we sometimes don't. That's how we do it.
That's great though. But she didn't say, "Okay, precious, this is what you're gonna have today."
Oh no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
You figured it out on your own.
Yes, ma'am. She told me like the parameters.
Even at 13.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She told me like how it worked, what the not the limits per se, but like the parameters,
the guidelines.
Exactly. And so I would make my own food kind of based off that.
Perfect. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but she goes away for high school. I'm gonna let you do it because I'll jack it up.
Oh no, you're good.
So tell us about what you're doing there, and
ma'am.
what your food looks like and your activity looks like there.
Okay. I go to the Mississippi School for Math and Science in Columbus, Mississippi.
So smart.
Thank you. But it's a residential high school in Columbus. So my dorm is a good, like, I don't know, 100 yards from where the school actually is. And the cafeteria is a little further up as well because we're on a college campus. We share everything with the college students except our dorms and our schools.
Okay.
And so I walk a lot when I'm there because you have to walk to get to everything. There's no taking, well, you can bring a bike, but I don't want to bring a bike.
I don't need it. I just rather walk.
Not for me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love our cafeteria. It's really good. We actually have something called the Simple Serving Station that they just put in before we left, but it was nut-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. They put honey on some things, so you have.
Okay.
So I had to
you would probably do fine with honey every now and then, by the way, if you want to.
Oh, awesome! I love honey. I eat it a lot on like cheese trays and stuff.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Love that. But I eat a lot from there because it's like baked fish, baked chicken, a lot of baked meats, and lots of vegetables. But they always have options. So they know people have different allergies, or they're vegan, or all these different things. So they'll have baked fish or baked options. They even have sometimes fried options without the breading. But they always have vegetables. The salad bar is always open. And there's just always something there for me to eat, which I'm very happy about. So I would eat there. I walk a lot. Lots of late nights in the library and in my dorm room. So that's just kind of what it looks like for me at school.
I love it.
THM.
I'm just so proud of you. How about, maybe not right now, but in the last few years, navigating events like youth events or birthday parties or spending the night? I know it was a long time ago now, but she came over here and I knew she was doing THM. I had her some Halo top ready to go.
Which was so sweet.
Yes.
I don't know how much I appreciated that.
Well, I've been where you are, and it's hard walking into some place like that and you don't want to feel left out. There was a ton of girls here and I was like, she will have ice cream. So talk to us about that.
It's really weird because I'll go to friends' houses and they'll say, oh, just eat this. And there's just that thing inside me where I'm like, I really don't want to eat that because it's just gonna make me feel bad and I'm just gonna feel gross about it. And so a lot of times, like for sleepovers, I'd bring my own food. So I would just like put a on-plan protein bar, or I'd bring fruit or something in my bag and I'd eat that. They've gotten used to it at this point. They don't care if I bring extra
That's
food.
right.
And at youth,
and they shouldn't in general. I don't think personally.
they don't blink an eye at it. And like for youth events and different, like going to weddings or parties or stuff, I would just look for on-plan things. Like there's a fruit tray, I would get strawberries or something, and they have sandwiches. I just take the bread off. And like at Ford, they would just bring pre-made things in, and like they brought chicken nuggets and stuff. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna eat the chicken nuggets because I don't feel like peeling the breading off.
Right, I agree.
So in moments like that, I'll eat that. Or like there's a special moment and they have cake, I'm like, I'm gonna eat the cake because it's a special moment. I don't want to sit there and just watch people eat.
Or have a smaller piece. That's what I do personally on my journey because I'm much older than you and things are not as easy. Very good. Oh, my stars. Okay. Any little tip of inspiration, whoever may be watching this, they could be my age, older, way younger than you, in between. Is there anything that you would like to say to them just to encourage them, maybe even when it's really hard, like how they could keep going?
For me, I always looked at other people's progress. So I would go on Instagram and things, and people were like, oh, I just dropped 5 pounds in 1 week. I never did that. And for some people, that's plausible, and that's how it happens for them. But don't compare yourself to other people's progress, because that just gets in the way of your mental health and the way you're going to eat. Because I know for me, a lot of times people find comfort in food. That's how I find comfort. And I would start overeating a lot. And I would go home and I would just like, you know what, I'm not going to look like them anyway, so I'd go ahead and eat that. And I go ahead and eat a bunch of food. And I'd feel really gross. I mean, it could even be on planned food, but like way too much of it. And I feel like I need to go sleep for the next 2 weeks. But just don't compare yourself to other people. Always go with what you're feeling and what you need. So sometimes you're like, oh, I already had 2 E's today, but your body's telling you, you need another E. Go ahead and eat it. Listen to yourself and what your body needs.
Goodness, Maddie, thank you so much. And like perfect timing too. And I don't think we'll have to edit a thing. Yay! All right, well, thank you so much. I'm going to try to forward you. I know we're going to get so many comments and likes, and I'm going to be blowing your phone up with all the things because I know you're going to bless. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy to do it.
Oh, so glad. All right, well, thank y'all so much for watching, and be looking for more interviews. This was super fun, and I think I'm going to become really addicted to making these. All right, thank y'all. Bye.